The first 6 weeks of 7th grade felt like a montage directed by chaos itself. 4 middle schools, 6 homerooms, a rotating cast of confused administrators, and fluorescent lit classrooms where I wasn't learning much, except maybe how to keep my head down. My mom and I were bouncing around, always on the edge of settling, and finally, we did. A little apartment in Clovis. It was the first time in a long time I didn't feel like we were just squatting in someone else's mess. I enrolled in Alta Sierra, and for once, I stayed. Day 1, I showed up in school uniform. Not because Alta Sierra required it. They didn't. I was just wearing what the last school had made me wear. Beige polo, navy slacks, the universal symbol for I don't know where I belong yet. And to top it off, I was already over 6 feet tall, had the beginning of facial hair, and a body that screamed, "High school senior!" while my age whispered, "7th grader." I wasn't just a sore thumb. I was the whole hand. I stood outside my first period class like I was guarding it, too nervous to try socializing. Other kids lined up behind me. One asked, "Are you gonna let us in?" I told him, "It's locked." He blinked. "Wait, why don't you have the keys?" That's when I realized he thought I was the substitute teacher. Our real teacher arrived, and the boy took one more look at me and asked if I'd been held back a few grades. I wasn't even 13 yet. That kid, the one with the key question, became the ringleader of my torment. It started small. Comments about my height, my hairy arms, the way I smelled, thanks puberty. Then it spiraled. My acne, my clothes, my voice, my softness, my queerness. Even though I hadn't said it out loud yet, the boys seemed to sniff it out like dogs chasing a different scent. I figured a new school would be a fresh start. But kids can be cruel, regardless of zip code. So I shrunk into a small circle of girls who didn't make me feel like a walking joke. Kathy, Jeannie, Spring, Summer, Natalie. And no, Spring and Summer weren't sisters, just cosmically matched in name and vibe. We had our drama, like any gaggle of preteens, but we protected each other. In a sea of cruel laughter, we built a raft. I would even carry tampons and Maxipads in my backpack in case an emergency situation arose. I claimed classrooms during lunch and breaks, hiding under fluorescent lights while other kids threw dodgeballs and insults outside. I said I liked girls. I even said I had a crush on Natalie once. But it was all camouflage. I wasn't ready to say I was gay, but I also wasn't ready to be anyone else's punchline. The less attention I got, the better. Eventually, the morning gauntlet became too much. I started skipping first period just to avoid that kid. I'd miss my bus on purpose and walk 3 miles through back roads and orchards. I'd wait until the first break bell rang before sneaking onto campus like a ghost. Someone finally noticed I was late, but instead of asking why, they assigned me a truancy officer. A man with a badge and a clipboard who spoke in threats instead of care. I nodded along, promised to show up more, and kept my sneakers laced. When summer hit, it felt like a long exhale. Kathy and I hung out as much as we could, but I did something I'd never done before. I went to summer camp. I was terrified. New place, new kids, but somehow I became cool. My older-looking body made me seem impressive instead of freakish. The other boys called me the dude and followed me around on hikes yelling Master P lyrics. Make 'em say, "Oh, na na na." It was the first time I wasn't the weird kid. I wasn't even the target. Some other kid named Luke got that role. I didn't bully him, but I didn't stop it either. I was just grateful it wasn't me for once. But 8th grade came anyway, and so did the boy with the cruel mouth. He picked up right where he left off, Only this time, I had more friends. I'd found drama class, my first real stage, and the loud creative weirdos inside it. Jordy, in particular, kept reminding me I didn't have to take shit from anyone. He's a dumb boy with a loud mouth, that's all. And I believed them. My grades got better. I showed up on time. I politely declined every coach who thought my height meant future basketball star. I expanded my circle. A girl with a crush on me invited me as her +1 on a science club trip to Great America, and we commemorated it by lip-syncing to Under the Boardwalk in a green screen music video. It was cringy and perfect. Jordy and I stayed friends even after middle school. As adults, I'd spend hours in their loft bedroom with the all-angle shower and the walls filled with art. We crammed into a photo booth once, 5 of us squished together, and that strip of photos still hangs on my wall like a time capsule from a better, weirder future. I've talked elsewhere about Kathy and the day our friendship exploded into a physical fight. About drama class, my first taste of stage magic. About my mom and how our relationship continued to corrode. But this story is about what bullying stole from me and what I slowly stole back. I developed body dysmorphia before I even knew the term. Every weigh-in and gym class felt like a humiliation ritual. I was taller, so I weighed more, and in kid logic, that meant I was fat. I had visible abs, but I couldn't see them through the fog of shame. My cystic acne made me invent new ways to change in secret. I kept my back to the wall. I learned the choreography of shame before I knew how to dance. And yet, there was one moment that still makes me laugh. After swim class, when there was no hiding and we all had to shower together, the same boy who had bullied me for years pointed at me while I stood there dripping and naked and shouted, "Whoa! Look how big Lucas's dick and balls are! What a freak!" I was mortified. But I also hope he remembers that moment, turns it over in his head sometimes, and thinks, "Damn, Lucas was blessed." Because yeah, I was.